back. Thanks for coming back. I have the most exciting guest today, and I don't often interview this type of creative artist. It's unusual for me to do it, but every now and then I do. I have a real live actress on the show, and she's young, she's talented, she's beautiful. I saw a play that she was in very recently, locally in Peekskill. The name of the play was called Ajuma, A Journey You Must Make Alone. I went to see it, I took myself to it because the title of it seemed to speak to me. And this woman, she's a dynamo. She played 4 characters in the show. And I didn't even know it right away because you go from scene to scene. I don't know how actors do this, but she was able to make smooth transitions and move an entire audience. Some, as I was looking around me, to tears. I came home, I told her, and I was in tears, and I had to have a drink. That's how good the play was. Her name is Katori, and here she is. Thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm just like over the moon. I really am. Now, I saw your acting, and I was totally moved by it. At the end of the show, I remember you came out to take your applause and your bow, and I kind of made eye contact with you, and I felt that we were family. I said, I know I'm related to her. I have to do my ancestry DNA. I have a funny feeling. Although we're not tall in my family, but there's just something about the way you carried yourself and you portrayed these characters. Now, one character in particular, I believe it might be a grandmother, Ivory.
Oh, great-grandmother.
Great-grandmother.
Yes.
And you made an amazing transition. It took me a while to realize that it's all the same actor. How do you do it? How do you do this?
Through practice.
Practice.
Practice and practice. It was an emotional journey for me to play the different characters in the play. Yeah. And because it was touching because it's my family and to be so vulnerable to just share this story. But I thought it was really important. And so I kept on practicing and practicing. And the hardest thing was the accent. You know, to get that through. And, you know, I just know that in time I will get that accent down pat. Yeah. That was one of the biggest challenges for me. But I was amazed that the audience, they just got on this journey with me, got on this ride, and just went through each character at a time.
The audience was mesmerized by you, you know. So what accent is that? Tell the people in our viewing audience, because they don't know.
Well, it sounds like an African accent, but it's really supposed to be, she never had that Guyanese accent because she did not believe in showing that she was Guyanese. Oh, okay. But she lived in St. Thomas, so it's that Virgin Islands, the St. Thomas type of accent that she developed that was thick. Yeah. I have yet to master that accent, but apparently with the play, it didn't matter what the accent was. It was just the fact that people told me they had transported themselves along with them, feeling that they were on an island. Right. You know, so.
It was very emotional. The story was very emotional. Now, I know there was a director. I interviewed her as well. She directed you, and she spoke very highly of you and your work. Now, I know that your next I guess, performance is going to be at the Collaborative Concepts, that's the name of it, and it's in the Saunders Farm.
Right, in Garrison.
In Garrison. Tell me about that. Who will you be? What are you doing?
So I'm really excited about that because we're just performing Ivory, and that's my great-grandmother, and it's just the moment in her life where, you know, she escapes and then she basically, you know, comes to New York and she has her whole life and she explains the things that have happened to her. Right. So that's the part that we're going to be showing there. What I love about this play, and I'm just so grateful for Mara to even, you know, take a chance on me, is that you can take bits and pieces and just portray those pieces because there's so much about each character that can just be a scene in itself. Right. And so that's what we're doing.
Right. So your grandmother, you're playing your great-grandmother. That's Ivory.
Right. So I play my great-grandmother, Ivory. I play my grandmother, Elaine. And I play my mom. I play myself. and I play my unborn child. Well, I don't play my unborn child. I was going to originally, but we have this wonderful actress that plays my unborn child.
Right. That's really, that was like the icing on the cake, you know, and everything kind of just fell together. So it must have been quite an emotional experience for you, an emotional endeavor for you to take on the characters of your own family. Now, was there a spiritual component for you in this?
This whole play is spiritual. It really is. From the music, so it's not just me. There are other people that are involved. We have a belly dancer. We have a Yoruba singer. We have a person who sings like soulful, you know. And of course, we have the person that plays my unborn child, and she kind of dances around. And she's phenomenal as well. And the thing about this is that it was emotional, and it was a learning experience for me because I had to learn that these are characters.
Yes.
And you know, you have to play this so that it's believable, but you can't let yourself be into it so much that it becomes, you know, really draining for you. And so there was a point I remember in one of the plays that I did where I actually started to just feel the presence of my mom, you know, and feel the presence of my great grandma.
Yeah.
Like they were there in the audience.
Right.
And it threw me off. Like I was just so strong to all of a sudden just feel like they were there watching.
Right.
You know.
So you're able to channel that energy
Exactly.
and bring it to the characters. Now, you're related by blood to the characters. So, you know, I had said earlier maybe it would be genetic, and then it occurred to me that it's spiritual. And then when you walked up the stairs, I said, oh yeah, it's spiritual.
Yeah.
Most definitely. It is. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. There's something about being connected to ancestry like that, and it's a very woman-oriented play. I don't believe there are any men in the play, although they're referred to.
Absolutely, they are referred to, and this is my maternal side as well. And the thing about it, it's not a play about people that I didn't know.
Right.
That's also a difference. My 2 grandmothers and my 2 great-grandmothers, my mom, a little bit of dad, but he's not in here.
Yeah.
He's mentioned, raised me.
Yeah.
So I knew them. So I'm playing parts of people that are not, you know, I didn't know.
Right.
I mean, these are the people who, you know, disciplined me, that raised me, you know, and they all had different beliefs and backgrounds.
Right.
And so I was able to, you know, when I'm at my great-grandma's house, I have to act a certain way. When at my other grandmother's house, I have to act a certain way and live by her beliefs and how she, you know, what her upbringing was.
Right.
And so it's really also a story about me within them,
Right.
if you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
And it's also about the audience because I can feel their energy. You know, so when I looked at you, I can feel your energy.
Yeah.
When I look at other people, you know, I can feel their energy. And so it just really becomes this like energy fest.
Yes, yeah. So I'm wondering, did anybody in your family that's still living see your performance in Ajuma?
Yes, and I was really nervous. My Nana, she's still alive, and you know, I portray her. I portray the, you know, the part of her life that she might not be proud of, alcoholism.
Yeah.
And so I was really nervous about her being there. I didn't want to embarrass her, but I had to tell the story because I think people who can know how alcoholism affects their lives, I think it was very important.
Right.
See, everything in my play that I touch upon, and the reason why I'm revealing it, because I want people to start that conversation. I want people to be able to talk about it so that maybe they can do something about it and maybe they can heal from it.
Yes, that's a very good objective to have. I think that with any kind of substance abuse, many of us have that in our family. How do you feel that her alcoholism affected you, being like generations forward? You know, was there an impact? Minor, major, at all, not? Tell me.
It wasn't a major impact, I believe. I think that because you see what's happening and you want to be able to, at first you don't know. I mean, I'm a little girl. I don't understand certain things and certain behaviors. But then when you do understand and when you do see that, then you want to do something to, help. I think that I was very lucky that my mom, when she was alive, she really was the one who explained to me what was going on. And, I even went to seek out counseling, and some of the behavior I was then able to understand. So I was fortunate that my mother was very proactive in that, but it still didn't hurt. And until this day, there's still some things that, that we deal with. And the only difference now is that I know that, this was her life choice.
Oh, you see it as a choice, yes.
I see, yes, this was her life choice that she chose to do to numb the pain that she went through. And it might not have been alcohol. It could have been drugs. It could have been, all these other things, food. It could be all different kinds of things that we do to numb our pain. And so she chose alcohol. And even no matter what I can do, try and stay, try to stop, that was her choice. And so I thought that I portrayed that in what I did in in Ajuma. And I thought, oh my goodness, it's going to hurt her. She's going to be upset. But what happened was she was sitting up in front. She came to the play with her best friend and they were up there giggling. So I was like, all this worry and all this stress and,
And they're just having a good time. It's like, yeah, we drank.
I mean, she saw a little bit at rehearsals, but, the whole full effect all together.
It sounds like it had a healing effect on you, to actually portray that. I think that it's very remarkable that you can actually, laugh at it. And I think there's a spiritual component to that. It's almost kind of like a God wink. It's like, don't worry about it. They're fine. But the thing is, I'm hearing is that unfortunately your mother predeceased your grandmother.
Yes. So that was very difficult. And of course she drank more, because the pain. And I understand that. I hear there's nothing worse than, outliving your child. And so that was a very difficult, dark time. But I was glad that I was there for her. And she was able to work through it. She's a very strong woman. And, I had to really understand that she was abused in so many horrible ways, and she yes, she drank, but she became very successful in her own right. And she was she's a funny, phenomenal woman. And I'm so grateful to have her for 98 years now.
98 years, wow. That's a lifetime.
She's seen a lot and she knows a lot.
I can imagine. Well, let's hope she lives to 150. 200, whatever.
And my great-grandmother, she lived to almost 104 years old.
Wow, so you have longevity in your family.
Yeah.
How ironic.
Yeah.
That your mother died before that, it's unfortunate. Yeah. It happens to many of us, but you live through it. I think that it sounds to me like the tragedy that you observed fuels your craft as an actor.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I had to go into a dark space because not only did, I lost my mom. And so when my mother and I, at one point, and I don't want to tell too much about the play, but when we got close again, and then when I was younger, but when we got close again, we were, like sisters, and very, very close. And so getting my mom back, so to speak, and being very close, and then to lose her was devastating to me. So I went into a dark space. But then through just my own journaling and writing, I tell people now that the death of my mother was the rebirth of me.
Oh.
I learned so much about myself, how I handled her death, what I went through, the people who came in and out of my life from her death. I grew.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like that. It's funny how you take, what is the expression, you take lemons and turn them into lemonade, but it was almost beyond that.
Yes.
That I think that there is something special about people that have lost their mothers. There's nothing more devastating. It has been said. There's, that no matter how old it happens, how old you are when it happens. So who else in your family is like a thespian?
In my family, my godmother was Rosa Guy.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I've always looked up to her.
Yes.
I've always felt very close to her. And yeah, so she was the person that I looked up to.
So a lot of times, most people, I wouldn't say most, many people have godparents, and you never really see them after the christening. You know, you never see them again.
Oh, I saw her. Yeah. We spent some times together. Yeah, very special.
So she had quite an influence on you.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
She really did.
Yeah, so tell me about your next project, the Collaborative Concepts Project. Tell me about that.
Okay, so that I'm excited about because now we get to really focus on ivory.
Okay.
And it's going to be a little bit different, I believe, because we're going to be on a farm.
Okay.
And so now I'm going to be outside in the elements,
Yeah.
which is, you know, a little different than being inside.
Right.
So I'm really excited about that. I'm working and tweaking it a little bit more. And I think that what's going to happen is, for me, first of all, like I said, being outside, but I think for me now, it's going to be like unencumbered. Like I'm going to be able to just be really free being outside. And I can't wait to see, you know, how I'm going to work with being, you know, outside of the elements.
Yeah, outside in the elements and actually trying to channel the experience that your great-grandmother had. Yeah. So how is it working with Mara Mills? Because she writes that it was a joy to work with you. Okay, and I can see why you're a joyful person, but playing these dark characters. You know, that's the part that I find fascinating. Like, how can you go so deep and dark and then come out as this joyful person? Unless you're acting now.
No, I'm not. You know, the one thing about people, and it's still so funny when people who don't know me, like they're like, oh, some people can feel it, and I think you can feel how genuine I could be.
Yes.
You know, how I am, rather. But like some people think it's like an act, like you can't be happy all the time. Well, it's not that I'm happy all the time. I have a lot of different moments. It's just that I feel like I go through my moments, and you know, sometimes it's longer than others, depending on what it is. Sometimes it's quicker because I do a lot of spiritual practice with myself. It's not a natural, you know, when I was younger, I'm natural, but things happen in life. And so I work at it. I meditate, I work with crystals. You know, I've had mentors in my life. You know, I've done a lot of the work to help me, you know, in my play. You know, there's a scene where I'm raped. I mean, I was raped, you know, so I had therapy, you know, so there's all these things that I use to keep me going. And now I mentor other people.
Oh.
And now I do spiritual counseling to other people. So you know, these dark places can take me there because I feel it. I feel it. I can feel the energy. Like there's somebody who said when I played my grandmother that I just transformed into my grandmother right on stage.
Yeah.
And that I can actually taste the liquor in my mouth at one point, but I was drinking water.
Well, that's method acting. That's what I call method acting. You know, so where did you study?
So there we go. Basically, I had 2 classes at Pace University.
Oh, Pace.
Yeah, Pace University, but I didn't study acting. I went to school for journalism and I went to school for sociology. But I've always been an actress from a little girl, just like everyone, playing in the little plays and everything. And I always wanted to be an actress, and my mom was like, oh, no, you don't. No, you're not going to be an actress.
Yeah.
So you're going to be a journalist. And so, but then after that, I did an off Broadway play. And that was on my bucket list. I said, I want to be on Broadway. So I got accepted, and I got to do that. And then I thought that was it. And then I started doing performances here and there. And then the next thing you know, I had this book in me. I had this play in me that I wanted to do. And Mara gave me the opportunity.
Yeah. So how were you involved in the scripting? Like, what was your input? Like, how was it more collaborative with I guess it must have been an editor. That would be Mara.
That would be Mara.
Yes.
Yes. I love you, Mara. Mara really was, I mean, she really, I mean, I wrote it.
Yes.
And then she came in and edited, and then she let me see what would work, what wouldn't work, how we can mold together, and we really worked well together. Yes, there were times when it was like, no.
You're a little bit, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, but it was a give and take. And even now, after, reviewing things, I'm like, okay, now I get what you mean, So I think it's mutual respect. And that's what you have to have, communication and mutual respect for each other. And the fact that you have someone that sees your vision.
Yeah.
And so I trust her. I trust that she is going to, make it the best that it can be.
She's very passionate about what she does.
Yes.
And it's funny, she tends to have this perpetual smile on her face, and I think she feels joy in what she does. What do you aspire to after this? Because you're very young. So what do you aspire to? I know there would be more. There's got to be more.
Oh, yes, there is more. So I'm also an artist, and I
Okay.
just finished doing a mural in Yonkers, so I'm
Oh,
excited
wow.
about that. I'm very
Okay.
active in the art community.
Okay.
And I just joined a board for the mayor of Yonkers, so I'm going to be busy with that, working in the African American community.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and then also for me, I want to, I have 3 books in me.
Okay.
I already wrote a book for Scholastic for the rookie readers, so I'm already published in 3 children's books.
That's excellent.
So now it's more books, more art, and more plays. Yes.
Yeah. So you're a playwright and an actress, and I can see you directing. I can see you as a director. I can foresee that.
Thank you. I would love to do something like that
I can
as well.
foresee that because I think that you could bring things out in people. It's so blatantly obvious, So I'm really excited about meeting you, and I'll tell the audience know that when I did see the play, I had to say I was a little bit shaken by it. I think that there's something in it because the title of it in itself, a journey you must make alone.
A journey you make alone.
A journey you make alone.
Yes.
Just the title alone conjures up a lot of things. And I remember feeling a little nervous just to go see it. I hope it's not going to hit home too much. But it did hit home. And I think it's something that anybody can relate to.
That's what's so beautiful. I didn't realize this because I was like, okay, maybe not everyone's going to relate because it's all, these African American women in this and, that portraying it. But I've had people from all different backgrounds, all different cultures come up to me. It doesn't matter what race they are, saying to me, this touched me because I was raped. This touched me because a family of mine, someone in my family is an alcoholic. This made me go and talk to so-and-so. And they were coming from all different backgrounds. This reminded me of my brother and my sister, whatever. And I'm like, wow, this is what I wanted. I wanted to be, yes, it's a story about these women, which is my family, but I want everyone to be able to take a piece, no matter where you come from, what your background is.
Yeah, and it is that way. I'll say that there were people in the audience. I remember looking around, because if I go to plays, when I go to plays, I do look around and see how everybody else is responding. Is it just me? I saw like a production of The Wiz and I'm crying and it's like, no, it's just me. But, but no, I'm just, in all seriousness, no, it was very, very moving. Do you see yourself doing in years to come, how do you see yourself as an actress? I can see a lot of plays in you. I can see a lot of performances in you. It's just almost like I foresee it. What do you see?
I see the same thing. I also see behind the scenes too, that directing part. There's a part of me that I do want to do something, but I don't want to play it. I want to just direct that part around it.
Right.
But I do see me doing maybe in a Juma 2, a Juma 3. Maybe there's more. Maybe there's another side of the family I'll tap into.
Yeah.
But definitely working on my craft, developing my skills, because it's not just a journey, for the characters. It's also a journey for me. And I just want to get better and better and, just produce more things and with my artwork and, all different things. So I'm pretty exciting. At one point in my life, I said, wow, what am I going to do next? What's next for me? And I'm just really excited that I'm having this opportunity and it's opening up all these doors.
That's beautiful. You're like an African American Renaissance walking.
Oh,
Yeah, no, that's the only thing I can say. It's you have all these things. You're doing a lot of things. A lot of times, people want you to focus on one thing, and so your parents, your mother said that she didn't want you to be an actor and a journalist. She wanted you to be a journalist.
Yeah.
But you're doing what you want to do anyway.
and I'm doing both, you know, because I'm writing, you know, and I'm working on a book, you know. So and I love poetry, and you know, so I'm doing everything. My mother wanted me to be a journalist, but she said never put your eggs all in one basket.
Smart move.
You've got to do a lot of different things, but you know, that was like have a core. And then have these other things that you can always fall back on, so you can, you know, always be independent and, you know, have your needs met, and not be scared to just try things.
Right. And you won't feel as needy. Have you auditioned for anything recently? Do you go on auditions on a regular basis?
No, I have not done that. I've just, you know, I'm just writing.
Okay.
You know, I'm writing at home. I'm working on a Juma. I'm working on my artwork. I'm going to be doing another mural soon.
Okay.
And I just, you know, I'm mentoring, as I mentioned before, you know, spiritual counseling. And I'm just taking this time to figure out, you know, what else can I be doing? You know, I'm an esthetician as well, skincare. I love it.
And you have beautiful skin.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
And I just want to do things that make people feel good, and make them think,
right,
and be creative in the process. So, you know, and also I just did like a hot air balloon ride. I mean, I'm doing things off for things that I, you know, really want to do in my life right now.
Spontaneity, you know? It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Spontaneity is a beautiful thing. You know, I'm so happy I met you. I wish I had more time, but I know you'll be back in this chair. I predict.
Yes.
I predict you'll be back, and I will be seeing you perform again. One quick last question.
Yes.
Do you have any children of your own at this point?
No, I don't have children of my own. And so the unborn child is my child.
Okay.
My artwork is called Katori Kids.
Okay.
And those are my children on my canvas.
Okay.
I don't have children not because I chose not to have children. It's because I can't.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I know it hurts.
Well, you know what? It's okay now. It did hurt for a minute, but I've worked through that. You know, I've worked through it. My eyes get a little teary only because of the fact that it's like it's like a bittersweet. Like, oh, it's like, oh, I can't have, but then no, but I have my art. But it gets teary because of the reason why I can't, not because I just can't.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand it.
Yeah.
It's just not happening right now. You know, that's why I look at it, those kind of things. But you must come back to the show. I want to learn more about what you're doing. I'm totally impressed with your whole self. You know, you really personify who you are, and your genuine nature just rings through. I'm sure it comes through on the camera as well. And I know that the whole world will be seeing a lot of you. You know, and just keep being genuine like that. And I'll say, break a leg. I've learned don't say good luck to an actor. Break a leg, all right? Break a leg in 3 places. Make it like that. No, really, thank you so much for being on the show. I am like so honored. You know, you're a very exciting young woman. You really are very exciting, and I know that you're going to go far. Where can we find you online? Do you have a website, a web page, an email that someone can contact you because perhaps they want to use you in some production?
Oh, that would be really awesome. Okay, so my email is KatoriKidsWorldwide. I have a dream to make it worldwide.
Okay.
At gmail.com.
Okay.
My Instagram account is Katori Kids.
Okay.
And I also have another Instagram account, which is Walker Katori.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Katori. I was so excited that you were coming. I'm so excited that I got to meet you. I know you're going to go far, and I want to talk to you more. And I'm going to say to the audience, I got to wrap it up. I'm getting a signal, but I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back. Thank you so much for coming to see this show. And I can be found on LinkedIn.com. That's where I spend most of my time on social media. It's a place for artists. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.